Step out of the vehicle, now.
No problem, officer?
You've been sitting here too long. That's suspicious.
I was finishing work calls, that's all.
Work? At a gas station? At
Stop
11?
for coffee, I'm not breaking any law.
ID, registration, insurance. Now. Turn around.
It's 10:47 p.m. on a Tuesday night in Scottsdale, Arizona. A police officer pulls into a gas station. He spots a man sitting in a McLaren sports car. The man is drinking coffee, making phone calls, minding his own business. The officer shines his flashlight into the car. Step out of the vehicle, now. The man steps out calmly. Is there a problem, officer? Yeah, you've been sitting here for 20 minutes. That's suspicious behavior. I was just making some calls, finishing up work. The officer laughs. Huh, right, work at a gas station at 11 p.m. I stopped for coffee. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'll decide what's wrong. ID, registration, insurance, now. The man reaches slowly for his wallet. Okay, here. The officer glances at the luxury car. Car like this, either stolen or you're up to something, you're coming with me for questioning. Officer Ramon had no idea what he just walked into. In the next 18 hours, this routine stop would spark a corporate deal, a department investigation, and a termination that made national news. The man making phone calls wasn't a car thief. He was Marcus Chen, a billionaire worth $2.3 billion. Chen had bought 47 gas stations, 23 shopping centers, 12 hotel chains. His average deal closed in under 72 hours. And the gas station cameras were recording everything. Before I continue, let me ask you, have you ever been treated unfairly by someone in power? Drop your answer in the comments. But Officer Ramon had no idea who he was harassing. Marcus Chen was 47 years old. He was the founder of Apex Horizon Capital. His firm was worth $8.7 billion. He focused on buying commercial real estate. Chen had an MBA from Stanford. He'd been in real estate for 24 years. He started with $500,000 from an inheritance. He turned it into billions. People in the industry knew him for his speed. He could close property deals in 72 hours. Most deals took 90 days. Chen did it in 3. He sat on the board of 3 Fortune 500 companies. He taught business classes at Wharton. Forbes named him one of the most powerful real estate investors, 6 years in a row. Chen had bought 89 underperforming businesses. He turned 73 of them profitable. That Tuesday night, he was driving back from Phoenix. He'd been in a 14-hour meeting. He stopped at the Shell station for coffee. He needed to finish a phone call about a $47 million hotel deal. He drove a McLaren 720S, fully legal, fully insured, fully registered to him. Chen was known for working odd hours. He made deals from anywhere, coffee shops, airports, gas stations. On October 17th, Marcus Chen was just trying to finish a business call. He had no idea he was about to buy his 48th property, and it would cost an officer his career. Officer David Ramon had a reputation in Scottsdale PD. Ramon was 34 years old. He'd been a patrol officer for 8 years, and in those 8 years, he'd racked up 17 complaints. Every single one involved people of color. Every single one happened in rich neighborhoods. 0 of them resulted in discipline. Ramon was known inside the department for profiling luxury car drivers. 4 lawsuits had been filed against him. The city settled all 4 quietly. Taxpayers paid $183,000 total. Let me give you 3 examples. In June 2022, Ramon stopped a black surgeon outside a mall. He accused the surgeon of suspicious loitering. The surgeon was waiting for his wife. A complaint was filed. Nothing happened. In March 2023, Ramon pulled over an Asian tech entrepreneur. He claimed the Tesla might be stolen. The car was registered to the driver. That lawsuit cost the city $45,000. In August 2023, Ramon confronted a Latino businessman at this exact Shell station. He accused him of casing the location. The manager said the man was a regular customer. Another complaint was filed. It was marked as unfounded. The Shell employees had a nickname for Ramon. They called him Officer Trouble. The night manager warned the staff, if Ramon shows up, record everything. The station had installed extra cameras after the August incident. Let me know in the comments if you've ever seen this kind of pattern in your area. On October 17th, Officer Ramon's pattern was about to meet someone who could fight back. It was Tuesday, October 17th, 2023. The time was 10:47 p.m. The Shell gas station sat on Indian School Road in Scottsdale. It was near an upscale neighborhood called Scottsdale Ranch. The station had 8 pumps, a convenience store, outdoor seating, well-lit parking lot. It was known as a safe late-night stop for professionals leaving Phoenix. The weather was mild, 72 degrees, traffic was moderate, a mix of residents coming home and workers finishing late shifts. You could hear the gas pumps clicking, cars passing on Indian School Road, fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. Only 4 other customers were there that night. Raj Patel was the night manager. He was 29. He'd worked there for 3 years. Sophia Marty. Nez was the cashier. She was 22, a college student working nights. At 10:34 p.m., Marcus pulled his McLaren into a parking spot. He didn't block any pumps. He went inside, bought a large black coffee, came back to his car. He sat in the driver's seat with the door open, engine off, lights off. He made several phone calls on his Bluetooth. Raj recognized the car. That's the guy who tips $20 on a $3 coffee. At 10:47 p.m., Ramon's patrol car pulled in. He parked right behind Marcus, blocked him in. Sophia saw Ramon through the window. Oh no, not him again. Raj pulled out his phone. I'm recording this. If stories like this matter to you, hit subscribe. We post new cases every week. Ramon walked up with his flashlight, shined it right into Marcus's face. The cameras were rolling. Ramon stepped closer. How long have you been sitting here? Marcus stayed calm. About 15 minutes. I stopped for coffee and needed to finish some calls. 15 minutes, in a parking lot, making calls. You expect me to believe that? I can show you the coffee receipt if you'd like. Ramon ignored that. Where are you coming from? Phoenix, I had a business meeting. What kind of business happens at 11 p.m.? Real estate, negotiations ran late. Is there a specific reason you stopped me? The specific reason is you're acting suspicious. People don't just sit in parking lots for 15 minutes. Marcus kept his voice steady. Officer, I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm sitting in my own car, on private property, drinking coffee. Don't tell me what's illegal. Step out of the vehicle, now. Marcus complied. He moved slowly. Can you tell me what law I've broken? I'll ask the questions. Whose car is this? It's mine. Ramon laughed. Yours, right, registration and insurance, now. Marcus reached into the glove box. Here's the registration, here's insurance, both current. Ramon looked frustrated. The papers were legit. When did you buy this car? 2 years ago. May I ask why that's relevant? Ramon's voice got louder. Because cars like this don't belong to people making phone calls in gas station parking lots. You're coming with me for questioning. At the gas pumps, a customer stopped. He pulled out his phone, started recording. Inside the store, Raj was on the phone with his manager. He's doing it again. Yes, the McLaren guy, I'm recording. Sophia whispered to a customer at the register. This officer has done this before. He profiles people. Ramon moved closer to Marcus, invading his space. His voice got louder. Turn around, hands on the vehicle. Am I being detained? Am I under arrest? You're being questioned. Don't make this difficult. What Officer Ramon didn't know was this. Marcus had been on the phone with his attorney for the past 90 seconds. The call hadn't ended. It had been muted. and every word Ramon said was being recorded by a lawyer 40 miles away. Type justice in the comments if you think this stop was wrong. Marcus placed one more call, speed dial. David, it's Marcus. I need you at the Shell station on Indian School. Now, bring the team. Ramon scoffed. Who are you calling? Your lawyer. Marcus stayed calm. No, my real estate team. I'm buying this gas station. Sure you are. Marcus handed Ramon a business card. It read Marcus Chen, founder and CEO, Apex Horizon Capital. Ramon glanced at it, tossed it aside. Anyone can print a business card. That's when Raj ran outside. Officer, that's Marcus Chen. He's been coming here for months. He's a regular customer. Get back inside. This doesn't concern you. Actually, it does. This is the third time you've harassed someone at this station. I'm the night manager. I'm filing a complaint. A man pumping gas walked over. His name was Michael Torres. He was 41, a local attorney. I've been recording this entire interaction, Torres said. Officer, you have no reason to stop this man. You're profiling him because of his race and his car. Torres handed Ramon his card. I'm an attorney. I specialize in civil rights cases, and you just gave me a perfect example of unlawful detention. Sophia came outside too. We know Officer Ramon. He's done this before, always to people of color, always in expensive cars. We've complained 3 times. The department does nothing. Now here's what happened next. 6 security cameras were recording. Raj's phone was recording. Michael Torres' phone was recording. Ramon's own bodycam was recording. Marcus's attorney was on a muted call recording audio. Marcus had a time-stamped receipt proving he was a paying customer. At 11:04 p.m., Raj called Shell Corporate Security. At 11:06 p.m., Michael Torres called Scottsdale PD to request a supervisor. At 11:09 p.m., Sergeant Linda Hawkins was sent to the scene. At 11:12 p.m., Marcus's team left Phoenix, 3 attorneys and 1 analyst. They were on their way. Sergeant Hawkins arrived at 11:09. She immediately told Ramon to step aside. She reviewed the bodycam footage on her phone. She watched the security footage on Raj's tablet. Camera 1 showed Marcus sitting peacefully. On the phone, coffee in hand. Camera 2 showed Marcus buying coffee at 10:34, no suspicious behavior. Camera 3 confirmed Marcus never approached the pumps, never bothered anyone. Ramon's bodycam captured every word. There was no legal reason for the stop. Hawkins interviewed Raj. He confirmed Marcus was a regular. He confirmed Ramon had a history at this location. She interviewed Sophia. Sophia backed up the story. She mentioned the August incident. She interviewed Michael Torres. He was a licensed attorney. He offered to submit a formal statement. Ramon tried to defend himself. The suspect was loitering suspiciously for over 20 minutes. Hawkins checked the timestamps. Marcus was there for 13 minutes. He was a paying customer. No loitering law applied. Ramon tried again. The vehicle matched a stolen vehicle report. Hawkins checked dispatch records. No stolen McLaren was reported that night. Ramon made it up. Ramon tried one last time. The suspect became aggressive and refused to comply. Hawkins watched the footage, all of it. Marcus was calm, cooperative, polite. He complied with every request. At 11:43 p.m., Hawkins ordered Ramon back to the station. At 11:47 p.m., she apologized to Marcus on behalf of Scottsdale PD. At 12:14 a.m., Ramon was placed on leave. An investigation was starting. Let me know what you think in the comments. Was this profiling? The next morning, October 18th, the police chief ordered a full review. His name was Robert Thompson. He wanted every complaint about Ramon pulled. Internal Affairs went to work. They found 17 complaints over 8 years. 9 involved people of color in rich neighborhoods. 4 had turned into lawsuits. The city paid $183,000 to settle them. 0 times had Ramon been disciplined. They found emails. Supervisors had dismissed complaints as isolated incidents. They had protected Ramon for years. They reviewed the evidence: 6 security videos, 3 phone recordings, 1 bodycam, 14 witness statements, 8 years of complaint records. On October 20th, Internal Affairs finished their report. Ramon had claimed 3 things. All 3 were lies. Claim 1, Marcus was loitering suspiciously for over 20 minutes. The truth: Marcus was there for 13 minutes. He bought coffee. He was a paying customer. Security footage proved it. Claim 2, the car matched a stolen vehicle report. The truth: no stolen McLaren was reported that night. Dispatch records showed 0 reports. Ramon made it up. Claim 3, Marcus became aggressive and refused to comply. The truth: every camera showed Marcus was calm, cooperative, polite. He did everything Ramon asked. On October 24th at 2 p.m., Scottsdale PD fired Officer David Ramon. The reason: repeated violations of department policy, racial profiling, conduct unbecoming an officer. Ramon hired a lawyer. He threatened to sue the department. He claimed he was being thrown under the bus. He issued a statement. He said he was a victim of political correctness. The media ignored him. The public ignored him. Meanwhile, Marcus was shaken but composed. He gave a statement to Sergeant Hawkins. "I've been through this before, but I have resources most people don't. I'm doing this for everyone who doesn't have a legal team on speed dial." Raj and Sophia hugged after Ramon left. "Finally," Raj said, "finally someone with power fought back." Michael Torres gave Marcus his card. "If you need a civil rights attorney, I'm in. If you believe officers like this need to be held accountable, hit that subscribe button. We are not done with this story yet." But the consequences were just beginning. At 11:52 p.m. that night, Raj uploaded his phone video to Twitter. The caption read, "Scottsdale PD officer racially profiles billionaire at gas station. This is the 3rd time he's done this here." By morning, the video had 1.4 million views. Let me walk you through how fast this spread. 11:52 p.m. on October 17th. Raj uploads the 4-minute video to Twitter. 12:47 a.m. The video hits 12,000 views, 400 retweets. 2:30 a.m. It's at 67,000 views, trending in Phoenix. 6 a.m. It's at 340,000 views. Local news picks it up. ABC 15 and Fox 10 Phoenix run the story. 8 a.m. It hits 890,000 views, trending nationally on Twitter. 10 a.m. Forbes confirms Marcus Chen's identity. They publish an article. Noon. The video has 1.4 million views on Twitter. It's reposted on TikTok. 2.1 million views there. Instagram Reels gets 780,000 views. By 6 p.m. on October 18th, the video has 4.2 million views across all platforms. By October 19th, 48 hours later, it's at 11.7 million views. CNN covers it. NBC covers it. The Washington Post writes an article. Forbes publishes a feature. The final count: Twitter had 8.3 million views. TikTok had 6.2 million. Instagram had 2.4 million. YouTube news clips combined for 3.8 million. Reddit sent it to the front page twice. The comments poured in. One purrs. On wrote, "This is what racism looks like. A billionaire couldn't avoid profiling. Imagine what happens to everyday people." Another wrote, "I've been stopped by Officer Ramon twice. Same thing, no reason, just suspicious. I'm a teacher driving home from work." Michael Torres, the attorney who witnessed it, posted, "I saw this in person. This officer had 0 legal reason. I'm representing anyone else he's profiled. DM me." A Shell employee wrote, "We complained about Ramon 3 times. Nothing happened until a billionaire got involved. That should tell you everything." Shell Corporate released a statement. They said they had 0 tolerance for harassment on their properties. They were cooperating with authorities. Ramon tried damage control. His attorney released a statement on October 19th. It claimed procedure was followed. On October 20th, that statement was buried. The news broke about Ramon's 17 complaints. On October 22nd, Ramon deleted his social media. He was being flooded with criticism. On October 25th, Ramon started a GoFundMe for legal defense. It raised $347 before being shut down. It violated terms of service. 3 days after the incident, Marcus closed the deal. He bought the Shell station for $2.4 million cash. That was $300,000 over asking price. The former owner said he'd never seen a deal close that fast. Usually takes 90 days. This took 72 hours. Comment below if you think this story deserved to go viral. Share it if you think others should see this. Wait until you hear what happened next with the lawsuit. On October 25th, Marcus filed a federal lawsuit. He sued Officer Ramon and Scottsdale Police Department. The claims: unlawful detention, racial profiling, violation of his rights, emotional distress. Michael Torres handled the civil rights case. Marcus's corporate lawyers joined the team, 3 attorneys total. They also named the city of Scottsdale. Why? Failure to discipline despite a clear pattern. Discovery happened in November and December. Internal Affairs dug into Ramon's full record. They found 17 complaints over 8 years. 9 involved people of color in rich neighborhoods, 4 previous lawsuits. The city had paid $183,000 in settlements. 0 disciplinary actions before Marcus's case. Depositions revealed the department knew about the pattern. They did nothing. Emails showed supervisors dismissed complaints as isolated incidents. The evidence was overwhelming. 6 security videos, 3 phone recordings, 1 body cam, 14 witness statements, 8 years of complaint records. On January 15, 2024, the city settled. Marcus got $450,000 for the unlawful detention and emotional distress. The city paid another $85,000 in legal fees. Total paid by taxpayers, $535,000. But the financial hit wasn't the end. Ramon lost his job. He made $68,000 a year, plus $32,000 in benefits. He lost his pension, 8 years of service. That pension would have been worth $780,000 over his retirement. Ramon's certification was revoked. He can't work in law enforcement in Arizona. He's on a national database of officers fired for bad behavior. He can't be hired by any police department in 47 states. His current job, private security guard, he makes $34,000 a year. 5 other victims filed lawsuits against Ramon. They used Marcus's case as proof. Ramon is facing $1.2 million in additional claims. The settlement forced changes. Scottsdale PD agreed to mandatory bias training. They created a civilian review board for complaints. Body cam footage is now reviewed after any detention longer than 10 minutes. There's a public database of officer complaints. On January 20th, Ramon issued a written apology. He said he regretted his actions. He said bias clouded his judgment, but it was too little, too late. The apology came 3 months after the incident, only after he lost the lawsuit. The public didn't buy it. People said, where was this apology for the other 17 victims? Michael Torres said, an apology doesn't undo 8 years of abuse. It doesn't restore dignity. Marcus made his own statement on January 15th. He said, this was never about money. I donated the entire settlement to the ACLU and civil rights groups. I fought this battle because I could. Most people can't afford attorneys. Most people don't have resources. Most people suffer in silence. Officer Ramon is one person, but the system that protected him for 8 years, that's the real problem. Let me know in the comments if you think the settlement was enough. Marcus held a press conference on January 15th. It was outside the Shell station he now owned. The time was 2 p.m. He spoke for 10 minutes. Here's what he said. That night I felt powerless. I've built billion-dollar companies. I've closed deals with Fortune 500 CEOs. And in that parking lot, I was reduced to being suspicious because of my race. I couldn't sleep for 3 days. I kept replaying it. What if I hadn't had attorneys on speed dial? What if I'd reacted differently? What if there hadn't been cameras? This reminded me that no amount of success erases the reality of being a person of color in America. I've spent 24 years in business. I understand power. I understand how systems protect themselves. But here's what my success taught me. Most workers don't have this power. Raj, Sophia, the other employees here, they filed complaints 3 times. Nothing happened because they didn't have leverage. The average worker faces abuse and has 0 options. They can't hire attorneys. They can't file federal lawsuits. They suffer in silence or lose their jobs. If you're a retail worker, a service worker, anyone facing harassment, you have rights. You deserve dignity. You don't deserve abuse. Not from customers, not from police, not from anyone. Document everything. Find witnesses. Report it. There are groups that will help you. To law enforcement, you have huge power. Use it right. Recognize your biases. Understand that every unlawful stop destroys trust. To everyone, respect is the baseline. It's not earned by wealth. It's owed to every human being. I want policy changes. I want accountability. I want a system where complaints are investigated, not dismissed. I want cultural change. I want a world where my son doesn't have to worry about being suspicious for sitting in his own car. Thank you to Raj, Sophia, and the Shell employees who spoke up. Thank you to Michael Torres. Thank you to everyone who shared this story. Thank you to Sergeant Hawkins. There are good officers. We need more like her. I bought this gas station not as revenge, but as a reminder that when people with resources fight back, we can create change. But we shouldn't have to be billionaires to be treated with dignity. Every person deserves that. But Marcus's case exposed a bigger problem. Black drivers are 20% more likely to be pulled over than white drivers. They're twice as likely to be searched. Latino drivers in Arizona are stopped 1.5 times more often in rich neighborhoods. 68% of people detained without cause never file complaints. Why? Fear, lack of money, belief nothing will change. Marcus had $2.3 billion, a legal team, media access, 11.7 million views. He bought the property. He forced change. But 99.9% of victims have none of that. So let me ask you, do we really believe police accountability should depend on how much money you have? Should a billionaire get justice while a cashier gets ignored? Do we really believe it should take 8 years, 17 complaints, and a viral video for one officer to face consequences? How many victims were dismissed before Marcus? Do we really believe buying a gas station should be the only way to force change? What happens to people who can't fight back? Because if we don't fix the system, if we don't create real accountability, then we're just waiting for the next Officer Ramon, the next Marcus Chen, the next viral video that changes nothing. Comment below if you believe officers should be personally liable for their actions. If you think stories like this matter, hit that subscribe button. We're going to keep exposing these patterns. We're going to keep demanding better. We're going to keep fighting for accountability, for transparency, for a system where your bank account doesn't decide your rights. This isn't just about one officer or one billionaire. It's about all of us. See you in the next one.